The lesson today is about inversions of the 5-7. We've learned about the root position 5-7, but there may also be different chord members other than the root in the bass. If you think of the 5-7 as having scale degrees 5, 7, 2, and 4, what we've learned is that when scale degree 7 is in the bass, that's a third of the chord, so the figure is 6, 5. When scale degree 2 is in the bass, that's the fifth of the chord, the figure is 4, 3. And when scale degree 4 is in the bass, that's a seventh of the chord, and the figure is 4, 2. You can see in this chart, the 5-6-5 goes to a 1 chord in root position. The 5-4-3 goes to either a 1 or a 1-6. And the 5-4-2 goes to a 1-6 only. Let's see how this works of E flat. So let's write a 5-6-5 going to a root position 1. So remember, B flat is the root of a 5 chord, so D is the third of the chord, and that's what goes in the bass. The other three notes, B flat, F, and A flat, can go in any of the other three voices. Our tendency tones are the leading tone, that's in the bass, and a seventh of the chord, A flat. Here it's in the soprano. Leading tone, tendency is to go up to the tonic. Seventh of the chord, tendency is to go down by step. E flat and G, now I need a B flat, let's stay there in the tenor, and I need an E flat and to double, and let's go there in the alto. Let's look at the 5-4-3. In the 5-4-3, the fifth of the chord F is in the bass, and now I need a B flat, a D, and an A flat. The tendency tone D goes up to E flat. The tendency tone A flat, the seventh of the chord, goes down to G, just like before. The B flat stays here in the tenor, and I can either take the bass up to G by step or down by step to E flat. So it goes to either a 1 or it goes to a 1-6. Now let's see what happens when we do this in a minor key. At E minor, for the third of our inversions, the 5-4-2, which goes to the 1-6. In the 5-4-2, the chord is B, D sharp, F sharp, and A. The seventh of the chord is A. Let's put that in the bass. The other notes of the chord, make sure you make a leading tone. It's D sharp. And F sharp and B can go in the alto and soprano like that. Tendency tone A goes to G. That's taken care of when we look at the inversions of the chords. Leading tone D sharp goes to E. And now I've got a G, I've got an E, I need a B, which is there, and I need a doubling. The alto can go up to G or down to E, and that will work. Remember that our tendency tones hold in all of these cases. The leading tone goes up to the tonic, and the seventh of the chord goes down by step. I'll show you one exception, and that's when a 5-4-3 connects a 1 and a 1-6. and the outer voices are moving in tenths. I will show you how the seventh of the chord, instead of going down, will go up by step. So let's go. And here I'll erase what we've had before. And this time, we're going to have a progression that goes from a 1 to a 5-4-3 to a 1-6. And I'm going to write a soprano line that moves in tenths, and there are the tenths, there, and there, between the bass and soprano. Let's fill this in now. The one chord will be filled in that way. And now when I go to a 5-4-3, you see B flat, D, F is in the bass, that's a fifth of the chord, and A flat. Leading tone D still goes to E flat. The B flat still stays there to make the 1-6. But now notice that the seventh of the chord, A flat, didn't go down by step but went up by step to B flat. And that's one of the exceptions. Let's look at another one of the exceptions. And this one, we typically want all the voices to go by common tone or step with no leaps or skips at all. That's what we've done so far. The exception to this is that when 5-4-2 goes to 1-6, we can sometimes have a leap up in the alto and soprano for expressive purposes. Let's go back to the in E minor. And this time I will do the same progression, and I'll do these side by side to show you. Now when 5-4-2 goes to 1-6, I'll write the 5-4-2 exactly the same way. I'll still resolve the tendency tones, seventh of the chord down by step, leading tone up to the tonic. But now I will take the soprano up a fourth to E, and I'll take the alto up a fourth to B. It's time to hear all of these. So here's the progression in E flat. Notice the outer voices in tenths. Let's look at the other progression. The first 5-4-2 worked like this. The second one worked like this. And that's how the inversions of the 5-7 work. For more information, read in your textbooks, pages 258 to 264, and you can do the Try It number 3 that's on page 264. That's all for today.